Modding Skyrim with Vortex, Part 9, Installing Skyrim Special Edition Engine Fixes. The Unofficial Skyrim Special Edition Patch. The Unofficial Skyrim Creation Club Patch. The Alternate Start, Live Another Life mod. And the Race Menu mod.
Hello and welcome to what I believe is my 9th video on how to install mods for Skyrim. Today we're going to finish up all the preparatory work so that next time we can start Skyrim without having to do the Helgen playthrough. Today's video is going to be narrated by my new friend Derek from SpeechElo, the AI voice generator.
We are on the home page of Vortex. Let's get caught up on where we left off. In our last module, we installed the Skyrim script extender and the address library. We can go to the mods page, where we can see that those two mods are enabled. We can look in profiles and see two mods enabled. If we go to the dashboard and look at the tools panel, we can see that the Skyrim script extender is active and ready to start Skyrim. So, we can continue downloading mods. Today we are going to finish installing all the files we need to start playing Skyrim. None of these will affect the appearance of the game. That will happen in the next module. We are going to do a few patches and then 2 more mods that alter the way the game starts. After we do the patches, we are going to install Race Menu and Alternate Start. This will cause the game to skip the Helgen introduction. Don't worry about missing any gameplay. You will be given the opportunity to go to Helgen and investigate rumors of dragons whenever you are ready to play that part of the game. Let's get started by going to Nexus. I am going to use Firefox with Adblocker. You can use whatever browser that you feel comfortable with. To begin, we are going to install the SSE, or Skyrim Special Edition, Engine Fixes. This is not really a mod. It is a collection of bug fixes that the modding community has put together. In the past, you had to do a good deal of complex file management in order to get these fixes to work properly. But now there's an all-in-one installer for us if we have a newer version of Skyrim. I start by clicking on the Skyrim icon to make sure that I only see mods intended for my game. Then I click in the search box and type in SSE Engine Fixes. I am presented with about 10 files that all pretty much look alike. You want this one, by Airs. The others are minor add-ons and experiments by other modders and are of no use to beginners. The one by Airs is the one most people use, as you can see by the number of endorsements and downloads. Select it, and we come to the SSE Engine Fixes download page. You can see the number of endorsements and downloads here. Scroll down and you can read about it. It says that it is an SKSE64 plugin to fix various issues with the Skyrim Special Edition engine. We check the requirements. We need the address library and the script extender. We're all set there. We downloaded those in the last module. We click on Files. There are 4 of them, 2 main files and 2 optional files. The main file says it supports my version of Skyrim 1.1.1170. However, it also says that I need to manually install a preloader file. That sounds challenging, like when we did that manual install for the address library. There are 2 optional all-in-one files. One is for Skyrim version 1.5.97, and the other is for version 1.6.1170, which is my version. If I use this all-in-one file, I will not need the preloader file. The all-in-one will set up the files that the preloader was set up to do. When I click on the Mod Manager download, it brings up an additional files required box. In addition to the prerequisite address library and script extender, the all-in-one requires the Microsoft C++ redistributable file that we installed several modules ago. If you haven't done that, you need to do it now. It is a Microsoft product, and clicking on the link will take you to the Microsoft page where you can get it. If you have a newer PC, you probably already have it, There are many YouTube videos that can help you with this. It is beyond the scope of this tutorial. I click on download and do the slow download as usual. Vortex opens and we can see the mod being enabled in the top right corner of the screen. The SSE engine fixes are categorized as a bug fix. We now have 3 enabled mods. The engine fixes were easily installed, and we can move on to the next mod. I will return to the Nexus homepage. The next mod I need to install is the Unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch. This mod, the USSEP, is, to use their own words, a comprehensive bug-fixing mod with the goal of fixing every bug in Skyrim in one easy-to-install package. With all the bugs in Skyrim, we really do want this patch. Once again, I make sure that I have selected Skyrim from my games. Now we search for the patch and are shown over 50 mods. A lot of them are simply translations or extra patches and fixes. We want this one, by Arthmore. Click on it. You can see that it has been downloaded nearly 6 million times. We can read about it, and we can check its requirements and see that there are none. There is only one file that we can download, and it is from my version of Skyrim. I will make a mod manager download. We do a slow download as always. This brings up Vortex, and now we can see something that we couldn't see with the other mods. If you look in the bottom left corner, you can see the download progress. The previous mods were small files and downloaded so fast that we couldn't see this. The USSEP is fairly large, so we can follow its download progress. It isn't so large that a slow download causes any real delay. When it is done downloading, we can see it deploying in the top right corner as usual. We now have 4 mods. The USSEP has something the previous mods did not have, a plugin. You can see the small 1 by the word plugin here. If we click on plugin, we are taken to the plugin page where we can see a list of all of our plugins. When I scroll down to the bottom, I can see a list of the plugin that I can turn on and off. The USSEP plugin is turned on. The other disabled plugins are all from my Creation Club content. I have disabled all of my Creation Club content so that I can keep better track of my mods. That is a personal choice, and I don't know whether it makes a difference or not in gameplay. I may talk more about this in future episodes, but for now, just know that if you are using a mod that has a plugin, you must have the plugin enabled. Not every mod has a plugin, but all plugins have a mod. If you want to know what the difference is, you can Google it. I did, and I can tell that I still don't know the difference. It doesn't matter. Just know that if you are using a mod with a plugin, then the plugin must be enabled. You will understand it more as we install more mods. At any rate, we are done installing the Unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch and can return to Nexus for our next mod. Once again, I have returned to my Nexus Mods homepage and selected Skyrim as my game. Our next mod will be the Unofficial Skyrim Creation Club Contents patch. This is similar to the Special Edition patch that we just installed, but it is for the Creation Club content. If you don't have any Creation Club content, then you will not need this patch. I think if you have a newer version of Skyrim, you probably have all the Creation Club content. I think it all comes with the game now. And so, now I click in the search box and type in Unofficial Skyrim Creation Club Contents patch. The search gives me about 20 mods. Again, most of them are translations. We want this one by Garthand. And once again, clicking on it brings us to the download page. We can read about the mod. It says that it is a bundle of patches to fix the bugs in the Skyrim Creation Club content, as well as resolve conflicts between Creation Club mods and the Unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch. This time, if we look at the requirements, we see that there are 2 kinds. The first is the DLC requirements. DLC means downloadable content. This is the Creation Club. We need to have the Creation Club content in order to use this mod. The other requirement is the Nexus requirements, which in this case is the Unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch that we have just installed. I click on Files and can see 2 mods, the main file and an optional file. I'm not interested in the optional file. I'll just click on the main file and download as we usually do. When we see the additional files required, it says that we need the Creation Club content. Notice that it is in white. This means that it is not part of Nexus mods and needs to be acquired elsewhere, in this case from Skyrim through Steam. Then other requirement is for the Unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch, which we also have. We click on Download and do our slow download. Going to Vortex, we can see it downloading and installing. When it is done, it brings up a screen that we haven't seen before. This screen offers us options in our plugin choices. We can choose our plugins individually depending on which Creation Club content that we have, or as one merged file. I think most of us have all the Creation Club content and can do a merge download. If we downloaded them individually as seen here, we would get a separate plugin for each of these items. If we do the merged file, then we would only get one plugin. I don't suppose it matters, but I will choose the merged file. It looks tidier in the plugin screen on Vortex. Here is how it looks if you chose the files individually. First, you would have to make sure that you had all of these add-ons. Only select the ones that you have. Of course, you probably have them all if you have the Creation Club in your Skyrim version. Then, after installing them, you can see in Vortex that there are 64 plugins, which you can see here. I'll back up and show you what a merged install looks like. Of course, in the merged install, you do have to have all of the plugins. When I look in the plugins, I can see that there is only one. This will keep my plugin list a little tidier as we add more mods with plugins of their own. We have finished installing the prerequisite files and major patches for Skyrim, and now we can begin modding the actual game. Let's go back to Nexus. Our first actual game mod will be Alternate Start, Live Another Life. Now this mod may be in your version of Skyrim already. It was so popular that Bethesda added it to its Creation Club. I can see it in mine. Still, I prefer using the Vortex download. I just like to keep everything as a mod from Nexus and run in Vortex. I'm back on my Nexus home screen, and I begin as usual by selecting Skyrim as my game. Then search for Alternate Start, Live Another Life. I see that there are 47 mods related to this. Besides a number of translations, there are quite a few other mods that people have written to modify the main mod. As beginners, we only need the main mod, this one by Arthmore. The rest of this is now familiar ground to us. We click on the mod and it takes us to the Alternate Start page, where we can read about it and see the requirements. It says that Live Another Life provides an alternative means to start the game for those who do not wish to go through the lengthy intro sequence at Helgen, and that we need to have installed the USSEP patch, which we have done. When we click on Files, we see that there are two, and that one is an optional file that we can ignore. We click on the Mod Manager download and see that we need the Unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch that we already have. The mod quickly downloads to Vortex and installs with one plugin. That was all we had to do. We can now start Skyrim without having to go through the Helgen playthrough. Before we do that though, let's install the Race Menu mod so that we can have more options with our character's appearance. Once again, we return to the Nexus homepage. Since we are now using Alternate Start and skipping Helgen, we will need a place to create our character. We are going to install the Race Menu mod. The Race Menu gives us an in-game character creation screen where we can make far more changes to our character's appearance than are available to us in the original game. We select Skyrim as our game, and then we search for Race Menu. There are over 2,000 results. But don't worry, we want this one, by expired 6928. We select it, and we can read Complete Overhaul to the Character Creation menu, including new customization features. We can see that it has no requirements. There is only one main file, and that is the one we want. Make sure that the file says Complete Overhaul to the Character Creation menu, including new customization features. Requires SKSE 64, Anniversary Edition 2.2.6 or greater, and game version 1.6.1170. There are some older versions of this mod out there, so be careful. We can ignore the optional files. As we did with the other mods, we download the main file and go to Vortex. After it is installed, we get a message in the top right corner. It tells us that there are multiple plugins. If we click on Show, it takes us to the plugin page where it has filtered out the 2 new plugins. They are not enabled. This is because you can choose between them. This isn't the place to explain this, but if you have both enabled, you will get the most options when you go to create your character. I always enable them both. When you have done that, you can clear the filter and see the 2 plugins enabled in the full list. Now we can see on the mods page that we have 7 mods. And if we look in profiles, we can see that we have the 7 mods there as well. Now we can finally go to the dashboard and run the SKSE and start Skyrim and see our results.
Well, that was fun. It took a few minutes longer than I would have liked. I don't think we have time in this video to begin a game of Skyrim. We'll do that right off the bat in our next video.